What is the mentality coming off of last year into this season? Was there any type of change from last year to this year?
If I'm looking at it like you just said, for as hungry, I'm full at this point. Like, I'm full at this point. Like, I mean, it's time to really clean the plate. Like, it's either now or never. Like,
Right.
That's how I kind of look at it. Like, with the guys that we have, like, we done. Like, I've been a part of, the best team in the NFL for the past going on 6 years.
Yeah.
And so, like, we always there. Like, we got to get it done.
It's all or nothing. Do you share the same sentiment?
Just figure out how to be better when that time comes.
What did you learn? Aiyuk, I'm going to start with you. What did you learn about this team the way that last season ended?
Me personally, I felt like we have one of the greatest football teams to ever be assembled. Personally, that's how I feel. So I see it every day. We know what we have to do. We know what it looks like. There's only one thing left to do, so it's really just focusing on that.
It sounds like there's a little bit more. I don't want to say more because I'm not saying you didn't have it last season, but it does sound like there's an urgency of like, okay, we've got this team, like we got to do it. We got to make something happen here. Sounds like that's how you feel. There's some
Pretty
urgency.
much, for sure.
Okay, what would you say to the people? I am the people. I have to admit this. I'm an honest truth teller here. I had my doubts about Brock Purdy. And very quickly, he shut me up. But there were a lot of critics that said Brock Purdy is not the type of quarterback that gets you to the Super Bowl. Obviously, he debunked that theory pretty quick. But what do you say to the critics that have those sorts of things to say about your quarterback that has been pretty decent for you so far?
I mean, you ask me, I look at it like it ain't too much that we got to say. Like,
proof is in the pudding.
It's already there. So it's like I ain't got no answers for nobody. Like,
see, I think you got, again, you don't just talk the talk, you walk the walk. So there's really nothing else for you to say. I mean, obviously we talked about the critics and how you guys feel about that. Was there any doubts for you initially with Purdy coming up behind? There was a lot of QB figuring out to do with the 49ers for some time. And Purdy was young, and I don't think he was unproven, I think, in so many ways. It wasn't that he was maybe doubted by you guys, but you hadn't seen a ton from him. How was your feeling about Purdy from the beginning, and how has it changed until now?
Pretty much the exact same. I think the first game when we played with him, we felt what he was going to bring to the table, and from that point on, it was just about growing, and we've done that since then. So I think people bring it up. It's a topic that people want to talk about a lot. We don't think about that. That's our quarterback. We good to go. We got a great quarterback, so, we happy.
Yeah, it's like you guys have some ride or die energy going on. That's good, though. I think that's, again, it speaks to the culture that you guys have established, and I think that's one of the reasons that you're so solid. I mean, you support your quarterback no matter what. You guys are so unbothered by this quarterback conversation. It's like, it's actually funny.
I mean,
like you couldn't care less. But again, other people are like up in arms about this conversation. They're so emotional about it. And the two people that have to deal with them the most are like, yeah, whatever. Like, you guys just don't care.
We done dealt with it so much. It's just like, it ain't need nothing else to say about like the things that he done and things he's accomplished already.
Fair. What do you think, Aiyuk, is going to help you guys? What is it going to take to get you over the hump and finally hold that Lombardi trophy? Maybe either from your team or from you.
Just everybody from today, these past 2 weeks, from today forward, doing whatever they got to do every single day to make sure that their best self when that time comes. So that's it.
Kind of the same thing. Kind of like be your best self, and like as long as you know you left it all out there, and like win, lose, or draw, like as long as you know you gave it everything, it's like you ain't got no regrets at all.
So it sounds like you guys are pretty convinced that as long as everybody shows up, there's no doubt that you guys feel like it can be your year.
Kind of like what he said. Like my eyes, like we've been on the best team in the league for a while.
So everyone's just got to show up. Everyone's got to show up, and then it's a wrap. It's a wrap for everybody else.